You're having a laugh. You're having three laughs. This is completely and utterly stupid. So we have a situation right now where there are clubs that now want to set up a European Super League independent of a domestic league and independent of the Champions League to protect their financial interests. And this is such a ridiculous, messed up situation that we cannot allow this to go, but it gets complicated. It gets really complicated. So let's just paint the picture right now. So the Champions League is now going to have a new format where they're now going to be, I think, like 36 teams coming through, and that's going to be announced, I believe, on Monday. Now, the biggest clubs and so forth have always wanted to create a Super League. And I've always said that a Super League is going to eventually happen because the reason why a Super League is going to eventually happen is because of the fact of the lack of competitiveness within domestic leagues, but also for money, because you can earn more money within the European Super League because the share between the teams will be far more than the share that you're given in the Premier League, definitely more so than in the La Liga, Serie, and so forth. But what this is different. Because I always say that, okay, Super League is inevitable if you always have one team winning all the time. But this is different. Because this is about, no. We are still going to be the domestic league, but this is not going to replace the Champions League. But what makes this crazy is you have a situation where either you're Arsenal or Tottenham, you finish outside of the top four, but you still get the financial benefits of being in the European Super League. Because this is like American sports. American owners, for a lot of these teams, American sports. Because within the American sports paradigm, there's just one league. There's no promotion, there's no relegation, and then the money just keeps on going all the way through. Football has always been a sport about merits. Football has never been American sports. Okay, the way football rolls is totally different from American sports. I do love my NBA and so forth, but football has always been different. And football has always been about you have to earn that right. It's not given to you. You've got to earn that right. You want the benefits of the money that comes from the Champions League and so forth. You have to finish in the top four. So you have to compete. You have to earn that right. Of course, Daniel Levy, the businessman, will fully back this in saying that, okay, you've not been able to invest money in building a team that can go into a top four. But if you could just somehow squeeze people's out, because my thing is that why the hell are Tottenham in a flipping European Super League? You've never won the Champions League. You've only been to a Champions League final once in your history. Arsenal, I know how big Arsenal are and so forth. Ajax have won a Champions League. FC Porto have won a Champions League. Arsenal have never won a Champions League. But they should be in a European Super League with other guys who have Champions League heritage. So, but it's about money. It's about greasing elbows. It's about handshakes. And what these guys want, the FSG, the Glazers, and nearly, obviously, Paris, who I believe is now the president of the whole thing, is they want to protect their interests. So they want to say, my gosh, rather than sweating and fearing of will our team make top four or so forth, let's just maintain ourselves inside this league and we'll then get more money. So we now remove competition because Man United right now, you now lose the money of now getting into the later stage of the Champions League, which you obviously get more money the further you go. But by then dropping to the Europa League, it's like, damn. But now you don't even have to fear Europa League. For Tottenham and Arsenal, just think about it. So Arsenal can finish 10th. Tottenham can finish, 5th and 6th? But still gain the benefits of being in a European elite competition? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. It makes no sense. See, my thing is that just scrap domestic league whatsoever, do the European, which will still be crap, but it is what it is. But my thing is that it doesn't sit well with me if Leicester City do better than you, West Ham do better than you, but you're an elite competition. It doesn't add up. You're in an elite league competition, But in a league format, West Ham and Leicester City are doing better than you. So who the hell wants to see you in a European? If West Ham and Leicester City are doing better than you, who wants to see you in a European elite competition? But there's always going to be pushback. So the Premier League have put out a statement to say, no, that's not happening. So let me try and get that statement out from you to what the Premier League said, man. So I want to make sure that I have this fully right, man. So, okay. So that's from UEFA. Okay. I think, okay, I'll read it. No, I'll read the one from UEFA. So this is from UEFA, who said, UEFA, the English Football Association and the Premier League, the Royal Spanish Football Federation and La Liga and the Italian Football Federation and Liga Serie have lent aid that a few English, Spanish and Italian clubs may be planning to announce their creation of a so-called Super League. If this were to happen, we wish to reiterate that we, the UEFA, the English FA, Premier League, La Liga, Serie, but also FIFA and all our member associations will remain united in our efforts to stop this cynical project, a project that is founded on the self-interest of a few clubs at a time when society needs solidarity more than ever. We will consider all measures available to us at all levels, both judicial and sporting, in order to prevent this happening. Football is based on open competitions and sporting merit. It cannot be any other way. Sporting merit. Keyword, sporting merit. As previously announced by FIFA and the 6 federations, the clubs concerned will be banned from playing in any other competition at domestic, European, or world level, and their players could be denied the opportunity to represent their national teams. We thank those clubs in other countries, especially the French and German clubs, who have refused to sign up to this. We call on all lovers of football, supporters, and politicians to join us in fighting against such a project if it were to be announced. The persistent self-interest of a few has been going on for too long. Enough is enough. You see, so Bayern and PSG have refused. Now, I was reading something and someone said that, well, apparently the PSG president has some kind of business interest with UEFA and so forth, so he's just protecting self-interest. And with the whole Bayern thing is that I have my issues with the Bundesliga and how Bayern Munich bully and beat upon other guys in the Bundesliga, thus stifling competition. But you always just say that, German guys are always guys of integrity. And for Bayern, they've said, oh, because Bayern would be one of the first names. And they're like, nah, this doesn't say well with us. We'll continue beating up on those guys, but no, we will come first. Again, top 4, top 3, and enter right into a Champions League. As you well know, this channel was built on the Champions League. Forget the channel. Forget me. I've been watching this competition since 1995. And it is one of the greatest competitions of all time. The theme song is top 3 theme songs of all time. I don't give a crap about a European Super League. So to lose that and the Champions League, I think that is unacceptable and that can't happen. But this is where things get tricky. So FIFA could say you're now banned from, you can't play the World Cup, you can't play the Euros, you can't play all these competitions. I want to play the World Cup and Euros. They don't pay me though. Man United pays me. Liverpool pays me. Chelsea pays me. Real Madrid pays me. Barcelona pays me. Juventus pays me. So the clubs will say, okay, fine then, go on strike. You're not getting paid. But then it gets tricky. It gets real tricky. You see, this gets really interesting. Because my thing is, if let's say this goes forth, the only way it works is if all the star players just go on strike. And say, because here's the thing, you don't have a product if all you can call are academy players and brick players, who will definitely go. But if all of the star players of all these teams say we will go on strike and we refuse to play. So Messi, Cristiano, Pogba, all these freaking dudes, Benzema, Messi. If they all say that, like what's it called, Varane, Ramos, all these guys say we refuse to play. We refuse to play. Courtois, well, I don't know. Courtois, all these dudes said no. We will not play until you do right by the fans and you do right by the integrity of football. Because my thing is that it becomes tricky where, no, these guys pay you. And these guys could rescind your contract. But if you're not rescinding the contracts of all the star players, then what? So my thing here is, I don't know how this can go forth. I just don't know how, because, and especially when you hear the reaction from most of the fans. Because obviously the Premier League, because the Premier League released a statement saying that, no, this is against heritage and so forth, and we will fight against it. And I think if this were to happen, we'll just throw you out of the league. So it could get really ugly, because if they happen, the Premier League will just say, oh, get out. Oh, go in a minute. We'll now throw you out of that league, and then it will just completely unbalance and just mess up the state of football. So I understand it from their points of view. I understand it. From Agnelli, Perez, the Glazers, FSG, I understand it from their point of view, because my gosh, man, this makes all the financial sense in the world. You know, what's it called? Stan Kroenke, Levy, this makes all the sense in the world, because this is financial protection. You now no longer have to sweat about trying to get top four. Also, and this is the way it gets sick, especially if you're a fan of like Spurs or Arsenal. We don't need to invest in any new players. We don't. Okay, we do about this because that's the whole thing about the NBA. You look at like the New York Knicks and how people rile on the Knicks. We don't need to get any new players. We don't get relegated. And we still get the benefits and the financial benefits of being in this one league. My Orlando Magic. When else did they get like a guy like Penny Hardaway or so forth? But why do they have to? We're still getting the money and so forth. But now if in this format, because you now have pressure to try to get top four because of what those finances bring in. So you're not under pressure to be like, okay, no, I need to spend money to bring in players. So of course Levy wants this. So it's like, aha, I don't have to spend money on buying players, and we're now financially secure. My business is financially secure. Kroenke would love this. So man, get off my back about buying new players. We are financially good. This isn't football. This is not football, man. And it is very important that people fight against this. You know, it's very important that people fight against it, because this is wrong. On every conceivable level, this is wrong. This should not be allowed, and it's important that people make their voice heard, because what makes football key and beautiful as it's competition. You have to earn that right. Nothing is given to you. And you can't bring that American psychology into football. Cool, that works for America and so forth. It is what it is. I'm happy that people have different ways of doing stuff. Different strokes for different folks. That's what makes the world go round. You do it this way, you do it this way, I do it this way. Cool. This is football. And this is something that has been established for a very, very long time. And yeah, someone said on Twitter that, the Champions League has grown too stale. Maybe I want to change this. No, it hasn't. The Champions League works beautifully well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There is nothing wrong with how the Champions League works, okay? Like, nobody has changed the league format of 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points for a loss. Last three get relegated. So that hasn't changed much. So what does the Champions League need to change? But this is people's greed and people's lust for money, and the fact that they don't want to have to do that hardcore work of earning your right to say what's up in a League 4 format. Don't mess with my CL. Like the video, subscribe, comment below.